Thank you for joining me for another episode of What Sayeth the Crooked Nose. Today I'm talking to a couple of very special people, Krist and Michael, and what they have done. They followed their intuition, they followed their passions. It's opened them up to allow them to help people beyond just the initial service that they bring. They People feel the vibrations, the higher vibrations and the energy that they bring to their service, right? Whether it be as a hairstylist or as a barber, or helping people uncover their blocks in their energy, or helping people build out their business. With Michael's visionary methods, and Krist's her intuitive approach, they seem to have a very powerful way of helping others uncover what they need to do in order to prosper on their next steps moving forward. And I'm really excited. I've never actually interviewed two people at once, so this will be a new one for me. And they recently interviewed me on their Expanded Awareness podcast. I encourage you to go check that out and like and subscribe their channel, Expanded Awareness. You'll see their, how to get a hold of them through the YouTube comments. And so if you hear things that really resonate with you, like, there's something about what these two are saying, well, reach out to them. And as always, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, and, leave a comment. If you really like the way that we explain something, hey, let us know. If you felt that we didn't go deep enough, that we didn't quite get to, something that you were hoping we get to, or maybe I didn't ask a follow-up question when you felt that I should, hey, let me know. I'd love to see how I can better serve my audience. And thank you again for being present. I'm really excited to have this conversation, and enjoy. All right, all right. Thank you again for joining me on another episode of What Sayeth the Crooked Nose. Today, I am joined with Krist de la Cruz and Michael de la Cruz. And yeah, hey, who is right? Now, after creating successful personal care businesses on their own, awesome. Both Michael and Chris created an online platform with the intention of exposing their audience to information and tools to create an abundant life with purpose and intention. Their wish is to help people avoid some of the obstacles and blocks that they encountered along their journey. Now, Krist is an intuitive who can feel the blockages of what's holding people back in their lives. She has an honest, no-nonsense personality and a way of explaining things simply. Now, Michael is a visionary with a gift of helping people clearly see their way to success and create a step-by-step action plan for creating highly profitable online businesses and a prosperous life. Man, that's fantastic. I love what you guys do. And well, hey, how the heck are you?
Well, go ahead, babe. Take it away.
What did he say?
Yeah, what was the question? Sorry.
I can't hear.
How the heck are you guys doing?
Oh, fabulous. I'm
Word.
sorry. I have one ear. This ear doesn't hear.
Oh, hey, no worries. No worries. So
we're doing great, man. We're doing awesome. And just want to say thank you for having us, in your show. It's actually my first time being interviewed. I don't know about Chris, but it's just nice to be here on the other side. And yeah, appreciate you for inviting us over. So thank you.
Yeah. Hey, my pleasure. It's fun when the camera's in the other pointing the other direction. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's quite, yeah.
Now, you talked about, or rather, I talked about in your bio about how you both created successful personal care businesses. And I suspect that personal care and healing are pretty tied into kind of the same intention. And can you maybe talk about your guys' journey a little bit about what got you started that personal care business? Are you still involved in it? And then really where that led you?
Sure, you can
Sure.
go.
Oh, okay. I've had a hair salon since 1997.
Mm.
I opened it because I really couldn't hold down a staple job. So I decided to create one. And then when I met Michael, he wasn't intending on joining me. He would just come and visit me. And go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I was just pretty much, kind of burnt out about the whole corporate stuff. And I would just, after work, just, go and help her out with like mopping and just kind of just hanging out at the shop. And then like a week later, I was like, what do you think of me like joining you and doing hair, helping you out? I started with just helping her out. And then she thought I was like nuts. Like she thought I was like, what? Are you serious? So
Why
yeah,
would you want to leave your secure job to join me?
exactly. So yeah, so then a month after that, I signed up for like hair school, and then we've been doing that ever since. And through that, we kind of discover our like we through meeting people on a daily basis, we were like feeling people's, like we can see how we're making a difference in people's lives just by talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they will explain, I don't know why, but when I come here, I feel better than how I came in. And that led us to pretty much becoming aware of like, wow, this is more than just doing a haircut or doing somebody's service. We felt that we're doing something energetically too.
And that kind of led us to start being more intentional about our work. Before we were just doing hair. And then once we realized we're touching people, and how many people can you get that close to? And then we started feeling their energy, and then we'd start channeling questions and having wild conversations.
Yes. So that's yeah. So just while talking to the person, they're like, wow, you it's funny that you say that. I was just thinking about that same thing. I'm like, okay. And yeah, it's like a magical thing for us now. But before it was just like, get in, let me make you look nice. But then we noticed that we're not just selling a service as far as like physical, but we're also selling a feeling of helping people feel good about themselves.
Outside of just the haircut, outside of something just as superficial as hair being cut. And it almost sounds like, and forgive me if this isn't the case, but it almost sounds like you accidentally stumbled into the idea that not only can you cut hair, but you can send them away at almost a higher vibration.
Yeah. I feel like we kind of clear energy, because people come in with heavy circumstances, and then just talking about it, and then with our intention of just love, peace, sending them just good vibes. I just wanted people to feel good. And then they feel good and they're laughing and they let go of things. And they're kind of in an alpha state when they come in, because they're relaxed and they know they're going to relax. So then they just start going off, and it's wild. It's a total wild ride. And we don't plan anything. Everybody just comes in and we just go with it.
That's fantastic. And so what was, where did that lead to? How did that lead from, personal care, raising people's energy, bringing that additional value, to people's lives, to then, building out, even further into the online business space?
Oh, okay. Well, Michael's always had online businesses. He's always been very interested in that.
Even when I was in the corporate world, I always had something like on the side, in the like marketing, digital marketing space, just marketing products and courses. So basically it happened the same thing with that too. Like, it's like, I feel like it's like a spiritual journey for me as well. But at first it was just basically just marketing. And I don't know, I always had like this, like drawn to just being an entrepreneur.
But Michael's got a helpful spirit, and his intention has always been, how can I help serve people?
Yes.
So he's found services, products, and people. And then that's what kind of led us into this little online kind of interviewing people, because my interest in people and his technological skills have led us there.
Yeah. So everything is like
everything's spiritual, and everything connects to everything else.
Yeah, it's been preparing us to this journey, like just learning little things on like my marketing, and then with the hair, and then her, just our intention of helping. So becoming that middle person, like, okay, you need this person needs help with this, then I'll be like, okay, I got a perfect, course or product or whatever. But learning skills like that, like little things, I have background in like doing like call center and stuff like that. I worked a lot in call centers and stuff like that. So not like back in like 2020, which I feel 2020 was like the year of, I call it 2020 vision. where clarity came. That's when it came to me. It's like everything that I've been doing all these years, it's actually, I see myself applying all that stuff, learning jobs and then, you know, with the online stuff, that everything led to what we're doing right now, which is pretty much getting people exposed to, you know, to letting them know that there's more to life than just like waking up each day, go to work. There's a spiritual, energetic, you know, realm.
Yeah.
And that's why we started the show. It actually started with, you know, one of your, you know, mentors, well-known mentor.
Yeah.
I don't want to say name, but you can say the name.
Yeah, Ed Stracher. Yeah.
There we go. Ed Stracher. Little Ed. Anyway, so he was gonna release like a new program. I think it was like Reading Genius or one of those. And I was gonna interview him so I can promote, you know, that to my, you know, to my audience.
Yeah.
That interview never happened, but that's what led me to starting interviews. Like I was telling Chris, why don't we just interview people so we can have people just learn, you know, become aware of things that can help them out in, you know, in living a prosperous life, or somebody's interested in, I'm all about self-empowerment.
Yeah.
So you probably are the same way, but we're about self-empowerment, just empowering people that they can take control over their lives and be able to create the life that they want. So my thing is about helping people become clear on what is that they want, because people can tell you 10,000 things of what they don't want, but they can, when you tell them, okay, so what do you want in life? It's like they hesitate and they don't know. So I help people with that clarity. And that's why we created this show, is just basically exposing people, you know, we expand our awareness, just exposing people so they can have more clarity. It was like, oh, that's, I never thought of that, or like just kind of, you know, have another perception of things that they were not aware before. So that's why it's expanded awareness.
And everybody thinks differently. So that's why we have so many different healers and so many different modalities, because if you don't care for one person's style, you'll find somebody else out there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a game of just exposure. There's somebody out there for you. You don't have to change. You just have to find the right one.
Yeah. Well, and what's interesting about your story and the way that you guys described it is that, you know, Steve Jobs had this idea that you can never really connect the dots until looking backwards. And I wonder now if you guys can look backwards and see how all the dots kind of connected, even though it may have been like a winding river, so to speak.
Yeah. I feel like life itself is meant to be backwards. Like you cannot be like, well, I can see where this, you know, is taking me. You just have to kind of like, it gives you like bits and pieces, and then you look back on and you learn. That's why we learn from our mistakes. It's backwards. You don't learn something before, you know, before it happens. It's basically it happens first, and then you learn the lesson. And a lot of us, it takes years to finally see, oh, so that's what happened. Like you get that aha moment. But everybody,
and in relationships, it's usually when the person leaves you, then you look back and go, oh.
You know,
I see.
I was kind of like an a-hole with that person, or that person wasn't for me, or, you know, it's always like you're either learning a lesson, or everything is like, life is always happening for you. It's just that you don't see it when it's happening. It's always like afterwards that you start connecting the dots.
And there aren't any mistakes. I don't think you can do anything wrong.
Yeah, so I kind of like that idea, and I have some thoughts on that, but I wonder if you could unpack that a little bit.
Sure.
The fact that life has no mistakes and you can't really do anything wrong.
We're fine how we are. We're not broken. I totally think that a lot of people think we're broken. They're always searching for things that they don't have, but we're fine as we are. We have everything in us that we need.
Yeah, it's just a shift of awareness of what it is that you need. So that goes like, once you realize that, oh, I actually learned from this experience. So you had to go through that experience to reach a certain level of awareness, and then you self-correct. So we're really not, that's what we mean by we're really not broken, although we can go through certain hardships in life. But those hardships is what's helping you shape the person that you're meant to become, and that is allowing you to serve others and somebody that you're going to inspire. Like if you didn't have any hardships, how can you ever be relatable to somebody that's going through that same experience right now? I mean, I'd rather learn from somebody that has gone through an experience than somebody that's just read a book on it. Because that person know what it feels like and it's going to help me navigate better. Although I will still have my own experience, you know, myself, but it's not going to be as harsh as that, you know, as that person went through. It's like going back in time, how we were like, you know, medieval savages, you know, just killing each other. So nowadays it's just getting better and better as we evolve and time goes on. We're becoming more peaceful beings.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still some, you know, still room for, you know, for, I guess, improvement, but it's just becoming less and less. We're more aware of that there's source, that there's God, that there's.
And then if you have any sort of spiritual beliefs, you're going to know that you're always in the right place at the right time.
Exactly.
Because
and
you feel connection.
what I like about that is it's a lot like GPS. If GPS tells me to turn right and I don't, I keep going straight. Well, what does the GPS do? It just recalculates.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But you might have fun going straight, and then you.
Well, and you'll hopefully learn a lesson. Otherwise, you'll keep repeating on those patterns until
there
you
you
learn a
go.
lesson. And then, Michael, you said something really interesting, that you'd rather learn from somebody who's experienced it rather than somebody who just read a book. Another great mentor of mine, Peter Sage, has this idea that theory doesn't cover the price of admission to higher levels of consciousness. And you know, when it comes to expanded awareness, I mean, I think awareness is a great placeholder for consciousness, right? And if you're going to expand somebody's consciousness, well, you should probably be able to expand your own by actually experiencing it. Because, you know, while reading books is great, it's better than not. It does not replace actually going through the experience yourself and feeling the feelings and understanding what's going on, and then picking up the ashes of something that you thought was going to be awesome, just to find out that it did lead to something awesome, just not right when you expected that it should.
Yeah.
But we also have a little word for it. We call them practitioners, people who do it, and then theorists, people who just talk in circles and never experience it. And we've encountered both.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that there's
and neither one's wrong.
It's
just some people live through movies and books, and some people live through life.
Yeah, there's a place for I believe for theorists. Again, like what we're doing right now, we're sharing our, you know, our journey, and we're inspiring somebody to discover their own journey by them being exposed to our journey. Even though it's not their experience, they can relate that they're, you know, that they might be going through something. And by them getting exposed to, like, you know, like podcasts like these, it's kind of like it gets them, you know, it gets them to like, wow, something just clicked just by listening, you know, to the show, and helps them navigate their own journey, you know, a little better. And just knowing that they're gonna be led to something great. It's just that it doesn't feel like that at this moment. But so yeah, there's room for theorists. But when you learn from somebody that has experience, which a lot of the books you're reading is from somebody that probably experienced something, then again, it just helps you pinpoint like, okay, I can relate to this. And then it kind of helps you like navigate through life better.
You know, that's a really interesting point. One thing that I have heard is that ghostwriting is a big thing on the rise. And the problem with ghostwriting is somebody who's basically taking the cliff notes from the person who went through the experience, and they're adding all the fluff to make it into a book. And so if you read a book, you may actually be writing a ghostwriter. So you may be getting bits and pieces of somebody who's been there, done the experience, but it's not really the same as actually having, you know, somebody who's literally walked that path as your coach. And it really sounds like that's really what you guys do. Is that fair?
That's fair. Yes, it is. Yeah. It's pretty much. We can only, just going back on Chris's saying that we're not really broken. Are we doing when, like you said, the GPS, if we don't turn right when it tells you to turn right, are we doing, we're just delaying the process of becoming aware or something? That's all you're doing. You're going to take a different path it's going to take you a lot longer than it was supposed to if you just turn right. So, but we're not, we're all
we're not there just to get to the end.
Right.
I mean, why be alive if you're not experiencing things?
Yeah. So I was, you know, I would say this, I'm a firm believer that of falling in love with the journey and not the destination. So like a lot of times we go through life just pretty much, you know, focusing on getting there. And just like everything great in life, like the, you know, nature, people that you encounter along the way, that beauty, the interaction that you have with people, we miss out on that. And once we get to a destination, then we'll just be, we'll be looking back and saying, man, I wish I would have just spent more time with the people that, you know, that we, maybe the person passed or somebody, you know, I wish I had more friends. I wish I went and experienced more.
And then a lot of times people get to the destination and find out it's not really what they want. And then it's a now what? What next? What next? What next? They're looking for the next thing because they're not enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I've actually I've got a tattoo on my right calf on the back, which is a very sensitive spot. I don't know if you've ever felt that, but it's of Batman back to back with the Joker, and it represents beware the pursuit of happiness. And so you see the Joker, who's got this big old smile on his face, and he's you know, got like this bluish skin, looks very toxic, you know, but again, big old smile on his face. And you got Batman, very stoic and, you know, frowny face and, you know, very stern. And the idea is that, you know, in the pursuit of happiness, where happiness is suspended to just over that next hill, or just over that next accomplishment, or just after I make this next deal.
Kind of the grass is always greener.
Yeah, well, when you show up and you get that deal or you get that new accomplishment, well, you're just looking for an answer, and it's almost like Googling Googling an answer to a question that pops in your mind at the time, and you get the answer. Then what do? You forget about it like 10 seconds later and just throw it on the rubbish heap, because answers don't really serve us. Questions serve us. Questions open up a path that allow us to explore that journey. And if we're not exploring the journey and we only want to get to the destination because of the pursuit of happiness, well, then madness often masquerades as happiness. And really the only way to be a good person in that world is to be stoic and miserable.
But Joshua, sometimes you got to be careful, because the questioning itself can be a trap, because one question can lead to another, and then you just end up lost with too many questions.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to get to a point where you just calm down and meditate on it.
Yeah, and you always, you know, we got that from you the other day when you mentioned that it's about asking the right questions.
Yeah, the right questions.
Like what questions, certain questions will lead you to, you know, to an enlightened life, you know, a life with purpose, but then certain questions will lead you to more questions and
spinning on a hamster wheel.
You spend your whole life just asking questions that are not getting you anywhere. So
yeah. Well, and to that point, I think a lot of people ask questions in the form of a statement, right? Something catastrophic happens in their life, like, why does this always happen to me? Which is basically saying, I expected this to happen, and tell me the reasons why it happened.
Yes.
Because when you ask that sort of question, you know, there's a Dr. James Gates, I believe at a University of Maryland. He studies fractal patterns, and deep embedded within fractal patterns is computer code. Not just any computer code, but very similar to search engine computer code. So when we are manifesting and we're sending that signal to source, to the, you know, energy field, right, whatever, well, then what are we doing? We're querying a database. And if we say, why does this always happen to me? Well, what's going to happen? Well, here's why. Here's also why. Oh, here's also why. Why am I such an idiot? Oh, here's why.
It's answering your question. Like, it's gonna happen. The same event is gonna happen until you become aware of why it's happening.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times, because you keep asking, so we keep sending you that.
The universe is always listening.
Yeah. And
We've got a good example of a customer. She wanted a new kitchen, and so she asked her husband 100 times for a new kitchen. He was always too busy. He was a contractor. So then one day they ate pizza one night. She stuck the pizza box in the oven because, you know, that's how they store their pizza. She forgot she did that, turned the oven on, burned her kitchen up. She got a new kitchen, but she got what she asked for, but it was unconscious.
It took the house to be burned to get that new kitchen.
Not the most ideal way of getting a new kitchen.
No.
Certainly effective. Certainly effective. Well, and Krist, you are an intuitive, and you you can feel the blockages in what might be holding somebody back. And can you maybe take us through a bit of maybe a client's journey of somebody who came to you who had a big blockage? Maybe they were aware of it, maybe they had no idea, and just kind of a little bit about your process, how you help somebody out with that, and how that benefits them.
Oh, okay. It comes pretty naturally just through talking to people. I'm always in my heart. I'm a heart-centered person. I don't think too much. So there's not too much going on up here, but I love the person I'm always feeling, and I'm always in tune with what's highest and best. I connect to source every morning, what my interpretation of source is. And so I know and I trust that everything I see, think, and do is in alignment to what's highest and best. And so when I'm talking to my customers, just things will be coming through all the time. And a good example is we have a customer. He's a fabulous person, and he and his wife went with us to Vegas. We often travel with our customers. We love the more the merrier thing. And he and his wife ended up splitting up, and he came to us and he was very, very upset. And then all of a sudden something came to me and I said, oh, why don't you call blah blah? I just feel like it'll be a good thing. And he's like, no way, I'm too shy. And then I talked to Bloody Blah, who happens to live in another state, who knows of him because I've talked, because I adore him and I'm always talking about him. And she's like, oh, have him call me. And just as friends. And now they're dating, they're planning on getting married. Life is good. But Mike and I are just connectors. We always want what's highest and best for people. And then intuitively we get these sparks. Let's do this, let's do that. And that's kind of what our show is about, is just connecting.
Yeah, there's no, like, we don't
there's no intention like I want to do this, but through just talking and enjoying people and having conversations and being authentic, we can just, things will click.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, the intent is of help what's highest and best for that person. That's the intent. But we don't have like a process per se. I mean, there is a process, but we're not thinking as a process. We're just connecting, we're connected to source, God. And like I said, it just happens naturally. Maybe the universe coordinate me, hey, go see these people. Sometimes we'll have people come in, hey, I just need a haircut. But then that person ends up sharing something with us and we're like, it's like, oh my God, this has been the most, I just came here for a haircut, but it's been the most impactful visit, like, 30 minutes or so. Yeah. Made a difference in that person's life. We don't know like how, but they just let us know. It's like, oh man, I feel good, or thank you for mentioning this. And, just things like that. It's just, it flows. It doesn't feel forceful. So that's why I feel that it's coming from, from source. It's not coming from, like, it's coming from something higher.
And a lot of times, like, people come in, they're usually going to events or getting jobs or going to interviews, and just through talking to us, I can kind of sense, oh, this person's nervous about this, so maybe I'll just put them at ease about this. And then they'll come in and say, oh man, the interview was just like what we talked about. You prepped me for the whole thing, and I didn't even realize it. I was just being myself and talking to him and getting to know him. Yes.
So she's really good at that stuff, and then just kind of, it just happens.
Yeah, it's just an intuitive process, and just through everyday meetings, we're always connected to people, and always in signs and synchronicities are coming and flowing.
Yeah. So
it's almost like a dispatcher.
Like a dispatcher, yeah. So we call each other like undercover, hairstylists, or it's that's our day thing, but I feel like we're really being used for something higher than just that. So every time we get invited somewhere, where there's a party or something, we make it an effort. If we feel like a nudge, oh yeah, we should go have fun. But we're probably being used to talk to somebody or just share our energy. Yeah. Sometimes we don't even have to say anything. People just like are, people just like, I just like the vibe around you guys or something. We don't even talk. We realize they give us feedback. Like, it's like they're letting us know. It's like, oh, okay, well, I'm just here for the party and have fun.
Yeah, no, I like that. And then you guys said something to me when you interviewed me on your show about how you guys often are in a meditative space. And, you know, is there a process that you typically go through, or is it just kind of a feeling, that a heart-centered feeling that you get yourself in order to maintain that meditative space?
I don't even think about it, but every morning we have a little process. We always do what Raymond Grace, one of our favorite people, do. And we just kind of align into the field. And just knowing that we're connected, we just relax. We're just pretty relaxed people. We're not in our head too much. We pay bills. We think of conversations sometimes, but most of the time we're just kind of flowing.
Yeah, that's a state of just like you're in peace, and you're like you just feel content with life itself. Like most people, a lot of people that we meet, they feel like they have to constantly go on vacations, constantly do this, constantly everything. There's always like, what are you gonna do? What am I gonna do? Wanting to feel that fulfillment or feel happy. I feel like a state of meditative state, you're just like happy in your own skin, and like with just
being in the moment,
just living. Like the fact that you're breathing, you're walking. Every morning we wake up, we just set that intention. Of course, a lot of times we are full because we are like magnets for energies that are, they see you, they're like, oh my God, these people are, you know, it's like the calmer you get, sometimes the brighter you shine into this energy. So they want to attach to, you know, like we call it psychic vampires.
Yeah.
They want to attach you, and then they want you to get you off that frequency. But with us, we're like, we just want to vibrate so high that they can even reach us. So we always in a constant, it's like showering, like, you know, brushing your teeth. So every morning we clear, and before we go to sleep, we clear all those energies. And it's just to keep that, to stay in that, you know, that state of mind, or a state of stillness.
And we affirm, we get in an alpha state in the morning, and we affirm that we attract all people and experiences that are beneficial for us. We're always in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
We repel all people and energies that are not beneficial to us. And we know that, and we affirm it, and we believe it.
And that's just simple, just intent.
Yeah.
That's what we intend to do.
And if we stay in our own frequency, then if something's not congruent or not, a lot of people are vibing and acting in different ways, but they're not intentional about it. We're really intentional about our own fields. And so if you're vibrating at that and that person isn't, then it's going to draw a lot of attention on their behavior, and then they'll feel their own energy really strong just by being around us, and they'll kind of be repelled. And we've seen that a lot too, that some people come in and they're just kind of freaking out and they can't wait to leave, and they squirm around. We've seen that too. But we know this, that not everybody is for us.
Sure.
Yeah, not everybody's for you, and not everybody's they're not at this, you know, a lot of people are not even aware what they're broadcasting. So you get people, like you said, like, why I don't attract good relationships, or why can I like prosper, or, you know, or save money, or, you know, those little things like that. They're not aware of what they're broadcasting that is attracting that lack of. And it's basically, like you said, like you're asking why I don't have this, why I don't have that, why I don't this, or everybody is this way. And then, yeah, you're actually making a point there. You're right. So I forgot who said this quote, but I really live by it. So whether you're right or wrong, you're always right. I don't know if you heard that before. So even if like somebody says, well, the world's this way because it's this way, well, they're right because they're you know, that's what their belief is. That's what they're creating around their life. So whatever you're asking, or whatever your perception is, that's true to you. So I never judge people that say, well, I just tell them, well, if that's what you believe, then you're right. Because I always go to even the Bible, like, you know, God's source, you know, however, whatever you connect with him, he created us to his image. So therefore we are creators ourselves. So we're constantly creating. That's what we're here to do. We're here to create, and we're here to, well, that's what I feel. We're here to master energy, right? So we're constantly creating. So whatever it is that you're thinking about and you're questioning and that's happening in your life, whether you are aware of it or not, subconsciously or consciously, you're constantly creating that in your life. So when, so that's why that quote goes on with that. It's like, you are the creator of your life. So if it's something miserable happening in your life, maybe you're creating that until you become aware that you're creating that. So situations and things will keep happening because you're creating that in your life, or you're helping somebody become aware. We never know what we signed up for, but I feel that we're always creating.
And that's what we do at work, because even if somebody doesn't vibrate with us, they'll leave, they'll get kind of skittish, and we'll be like, oh, okay, they weren't ready for us. It's not that anything's wrong with them. They just weren't ready.
Yeah.
And it's not bad. And we've had some people really act strange around us, run away, just kind of like a deer in headlights, freak out, and then come back a year later and say, well, I'm sorry, I was just in a bad place at that time, but I was thinking about it. So we never take anything personal, and we know that whatever happens is for the highest and best. But I think that we all get opportunities to grow and change, and sometimes we're just not ready.
Yeah. And that's the hardest part, is basically accepting people where they at, because we can see point A to point B, but they have to go through A, C, Z, come back to P, Q, R. And sometimes we have to accept that's the path that they need to take, the scribbles, in order to get back to A,
But if you're centered in your own energy, you'll just see this and go, that was very interesting, Mike. We go home at night and we go, that was very interesting.
Yeah. And we've gone through that ourselves too. So we never, I feel like sometimes we just by why can't you see this? Or we immediately judging, when you accept people where they're at, by whatever vibration they're going, and just know that they're gonna go through there. It's just that they missed that maybe 2 turns or 3 turns, 5 turns. But I feel like people, the more you vibrate, the more you work hard on yourself. Because we work when we're gonna learn a new skill, for example, we always working harder on ourselves than on the skill itself. I feel that when people get when they get close to you, like proximity, I feel like that's it's like they can pick something up subconsciously, and it's gonna help them in their journey. So when you get around healers, good intentional healers, you just feel something different about that person. Even if you don't know what it is, you're like, man, I feel like all of a sudden I feel aware of something. Maybe that's why I feel like the 2020 thing, when they wanted you to be apart from people, it's because they didn't want people to get connected and feel that, they want you to be in that scare mode. But people that weren't afraid of what was going on, you can pass on that energy to others. And I feel like there's don't touch people, don't go hang out with people.
It's almost like you ignite a spark in others.
Yeah.
Without realizing it.
Well, whether somebody is spiritual or not, right? There are demonstrable things that we can do, or maybe, used to be able to do, to show that there's an energy field around everyone. And, back in the day, there were the old TVs with rabbit ears. And if your hand got close to the rabbit ear, well, then all of a sudden the TV would be either fuzzy or look amazing. And then you pull it away and it'd be the opposite. And it makes you wonder, of that person who was there in your shop, say a year before, then they bounced because they were a little freaked out, right? If you have this energy field around you and then they interact with that, right? What sort of packets of data are being shared with them, right? Maybe being neutralized by yours and then shared with them. And then they run away, and then they have kind of this slow unzipping process where it kind of unzips, and these files are now somewhat available. And then they start kind of unpacking.
Yeah, it's kind of like the, I don't know if you're familiar. I don't know if people do that anymore, but you remember how you defrag your computer back in the days?
Yeah.
To make all the files that were clustered up, scrambled, the defragmentation kind of it organizes them. I feel like we're like that the same way. We're just we help people declutter, just sometimes just by being in the presence of that person. So, That's
I like the idea of defragging because, you know, the mind, for all we know, the mind could be nothing more than an advanced hard drive of some sort
yeah.
of single state hard drive. And if you look at a hard drive and, you know, what caused the need for defragging is, you know, deleting different files, moving different files around, and it's going to leave little trails of. And so if we are improving ourselves and we're walking along a path and there's old code that we then upgrade to new code, well, there's going to be perhaps remnants of that old code. And if we don't defrag over time, well, then we might find ourselves in a position where, right, the hard drive is slowed down because it's trying to go through these different sectors, but it's like, oh, it's here, oh, it's not there, oh, it's here, oh, it's not there, it's over here. And that takes a lot of processing power. And with the mind, you know, the brain consumes 20% of our calories. You know, it's 1 to 3% of our body weight. It takes 20% of our calories, and to slow it down in any way could actually have a lot of downstream effects.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what meditation is for us. When we feel fragmented, then we just defrag by meditating.
I like that.
It's an analogy that I can use.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I meditate every morning. I'm also going to go on a.
What's your favorite meditation? What's your favorite?
I don't know if I have a favorite, right? I cycle through them, and I usually have a flavor for a week or two or a month, and then I'll switch to something else. And I'll kind of disperse things in between. Right now I'm really jamming to a Ganesh mantra. You know, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And what I didn't realize is when I first heard that song, I didn't realize it was even an invocation, you know, salutations, Lord Ganesh. I didn't realize that's what it was saying. It was like, hey, I really like this tune. Really paid no mind to it at all. And then I know, right? But I listened to a lot of Shiva, you know, stuff around Shiva invocations. And one time in particular, going to the gym, you know, I speak an oath of manifestation on my way to the gym, and really feel it. And then I was listening to that Shiva invocation, and I saw in my mind's eye Ganesh, and I spend like zero time thinking of Ganesh, right? Not that I have anything against Ganesh.
Yeah.
It just wasn't really something I thought about, right? He wasn't, you know, the energy field wasn't really anything I spent much time around. But then I looked up Ganesh. Hey, who is Ganesh? I was like, oh, the god of wisdom. Well, hey, here I am, a philosophy nerd, god of wisdom. That sounds awesome. And then remover of obstacles. Like, oh, well, that's interesting. And then I found like as if just little winks at me of saying like, hey, here's just the beginning. When that happened, I found that when I'd go to fill up my car at the gas station, I would pull in and there would be at Costco. So Costco is either like feast or famine, you know, it comes to filling up. And so, you know, every lane would be completely blocked or completely full of 2, maybe 3 cars. But as I'm pulling in, for some reason, there's just a perfect spot for me to pull right into and fill up. And I have numbers that follow me. And I see these repeating numbers, you know, on the gas pump, either in the gallons or I see it in the price. Again, as if to say, hey, we remove this obstacle, and wink, 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 wink. Because when I see these numbers, while the numbers themselves, right, angel numbers and stuff, they will have an objective meaning. I find, for me personally, I find more meaning in reflecting on what was I just thinking on, right? What was I just feeling about, right? Feeling when that popped up, for the universe to be like, huh, wink, wink, wink. Right? Yeah. And so ever since doing that, I felt a connection to something more. And then I brought that into my healing circle meditation for my summit that I just threw. And, you know, I got quiet. I did my mantra in my head, and, you know, I did other things, of course, but, you know, when I came out, I asked people what they felt and didn't prime them. Hey, did you feel any energy? Did you feel things coming through your body, tingles and stuff, right? I just say, hey, what did you feel? Would you mind, you know, sharing? And there was one person there who said they were another energy healer as well. And they said that was the most powerful love bath they've ever felt. They've never felt anything as physical or as emotional as that before. And so I am very intuitive in where my meditations take me. But I guess I'm working on still my psychic intuitions, right? When it comes to other people, right? Because there's things that I intuit, it's like, I bet that's right. And so I'll try to play with those at times. but other times I'll notice how I'll kind of shy away and won't necessarily put myself out there. But the more I do, it seems like I'm rewarded, and there's winks, right, that I'm getting from the universe to let me know that, like, hey, you're doing the right thing.
But don't you feel, Joshua, that the more you know yourself, the more you recognize what's projecting and what's being downloaded to you?
I think that the more I know myself, the easier it is for me to parse that. Yeah, I would agree with that. And I still, and maybe this is just because of the way I train myself, I still will reflexively look within first. So if I get triggered, I'll look within first and be like, instead of being like, oh, motherfucker, right? You want some of this, huh? Right? I'm like, oh, well, hey, what's going on? Why did I react that way? What's up with me, rather than what's up with them? And then it may have been their energy may have triggered me, but again, they gave me a gift, because now if I see somebody coming in the spirit of that same energy, then I can prepare myself and just protect myself in much the same way that you said that, Raymond Grace, right? Center myself. And, I reject, all negative energy, any energy that's not for my highest and greatest good, coming from the highest levels of love and truth. And it's just not allowed in my field. And then be grounded in that. And then that way I don't have to worry about being, and so, long way of answering your question, Krist. Yes. The more you know yourself, I'd say it is easier to know a download and
the easier it is to be psychic, because if you know your energy, then you recognize something's not you, and then you can. That's what I do with my customers. I know my energy very well. So if I feel something else, then I just start talking about it, and it's almost always spot on.
Yeah, because she's an empath, so she picks up on other people's feelings, and it took her a while to recognize that.
I thought I was an alcoholic. This is an interesting story. I went to AA. And they said, honey, you don't belong here. I said, you're telling me I can't come to AA? And they said, no, you don't belong here. You belong in Al-Anon. You're an empath.
Yes.
I was hanging around people and partying, thinking that I'm an alcoholic, but I was hanging around other alcoholics. And the minute I switched friends, it went away.
Yeah. So most people are not aware that they could be, it's like, sometimes you wake up and then you might be walking around the mall or somewhere, and all of a sudden you just feel like you're mad, and you're like, this is for empaths. So the more you know yourself, the more you can differentiate, okay, this is not my energy, it's somebody else. But if you're not aware that you're an empath, then you think that you're this, and you start going to the hospitals and like, there's something wrong with me, I need some antidepressants, I need this, I need this. Where all along is like you're just picking on people's other people's either illnesses or
I
feelings.
think that's like the hardest thing about being an empath, because I was also on antidepressants for 10 years. I thought I was I thought I was an alcoholic, and then I went through a depression period where I thought I was hanging around depressed people because I want to make them feel good, and I was picking up their stuff. So then once I figured that out, I said, I got to throw these things down the toilet. I'm not to say that nobody needs antidepressants, but I myself wasn't in alignment with it. It was just the people it wasn't that the people I was hanging around were bad, but I didn't clear myself or understand energy. And now I understand energy. So I can be around that energy, leave, and then if it comes with me and it's not mine, I know how to clear it.
Yeah, she needed to meet Professor X. You know how like they have powers and they don't understand them?
Yep.
So he's like, oh, come to my school and I'll show you how to control. So she has an ability of that, but she just didn't understand.
For the gifted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big fan of the X-Men. And so Al-Anon, huh? That's I want to say I've heard that name, but I haven't heard it in so long that it seems foreign to me. And
I don't know what the acronym is, but it's for the family of alcohol.
Family
how to live with them.
Well, and what's funny about that too is that when I first started working with Ed Stracher, some of the books that I was reading when I would escape like my own traumatic past, and as a young teenager, I'd read fantasy novels, and mainly by Terry Brooks, the Shannara series, and the main druid, right, the main good guy, the main the protagonist is a wizard or a druid by the name of Al-Anon, and he was this really like he he had the truth, but the truth with a fist that would slam down and call you an idiot if you didn't understand it. And so like, I'm seeing this like, dude, like Ed, I manifested Al-Anon in my own life.
You did literally. That's what he reminds me too. Yeah.
And so it's fun to think that, well, more than think, it's fun to recognize how much power we really do have over, and how much influence we really do have over reality. That as a kid, I was so desperate to find somebody like Al-Anon. And as an adult, when I allowed myself to explore, hey, magic is actually real, well, then Al-Anon appeared.
Yeah. It's like, that's why I feel we're here, at least in this dimension, we're here to learn how to master energy. So you can be in a chaotic situation and you do have the power to like just kind of turn that situation into peace.
Our words are important. For example, I had a chaotic childhood too, as did Mike. I think most people had somewhat of a chaotic childhood, not to compare, you know?
Yeah.
But once I thought about it one day and I was thinking, feeling sorry for myself, reliving in the past. And then I said, why am I doing this? I came through these people, not from them.
Ooh, yeah.
And once I reworded it, I let go of it and detached myself and saw it from a totally different perspective.
Yeah, because even that, I feel like before we even come to this, plane, we choose our families so we can experience some kind of, trauma that would actually open up our abilities.
Yeah.
That's why if you see a lot of movies, the superpowers, how they get them is always like to some traumatic event or something.
And a lot of people go through traumatic events. A lot of psychics I met have gone through sexual experiences, physical experiences, alcoholic families, and that's how they learned how to read energy.
Yeah.
So I know, Joshua, that you said that you had a very interesting childhood, and I know that you're a lot more psychic than you think you are, because you had to learn how to navigate through those fields and you recognize those energies.
Yeah. And what I'm working on now is through the training that Ed took us through, he gave us access to his psychic abilities, and now it's up to me to unpack those. And so I've really been focusing on that. He gave us the the image to focus on, and so I've really been leaning in on that, and again, just allowing it to guide me. And little things, like I'm going to a workshop in Denver in the first weekend of August. And then come to find out that somebody who, like my brother's ex-wife is going to be in Denver at the same time. And she might have the two youngest kids who I've never met. Right. So he's got 4 kids. I've met the 2 oldest, never met the 2 youngest. It just happens to be the exact time that I'm going to be in Denver. And like, oh, wow, look at that. Look, yeah. Right. And so, and I had the choice of going to Miami in November or Denver in August. And I chose Denver in August. And so, then I see things of the universe saying either this was supposed to go this way and this is why, or, and it almost doesn't matter, or since it's gone this way, here's what we're going to give you. And I don't know which one's necessarily more empowering, but I like them both. I like both ways of looking at
that. That's so cool.
And the more you recognize it, the more it happens, don't you feel?
Yeah, I agree. And part of that might be have you ever heard of the reticular activating system? Yeah. And so the reticular activating system is the part of the vision that basically, and part of the mind that says, hey, is this relevant? No, I don't need to care about this, which is again, looking up that answer on Google. And once it's answered, it's no longer relevant. Then you don't care about it. There's no reason to retain it. And so when we train the reticular activating system to look for those things, well, then we're also sending that signal to the field saying, hey, we're ready for more of those things. So then I think that there's a way for it to compound. 1, because we're training ourselves to see it. And 2, we're increasing the signal while quieting the noise, especially with meditation. And especially first thing in the morning, like you guys said, setting that intention first thing in the morning, really get that going. And well, I appreciate your vote of confidence for my psychic abilities. We'll have to talk again sometime in the future as I really lean in, and we'll have to.
I'm excited about it, Joshua, because I know that you've got them, because I've watched your interviews, and you told us that you don't really take notes or guide the interviews too much. Where are you getting that from? how's that happening?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see it.
Yeah. And sometimes it's easier to see things from the outside,
Oh, sure.
right? Especially when things are somewhat foreign, right? So I was raised with a grandfather who was, psychic. But the thing is like, I say psychic because there's so many things that I believed in as a kid, and that may have been why I chose my family. Part of the reason why is because I made such a big, connection with him as a young child. But then as I grew older, well, then I found out how much of a pervert he was, not to me, but to the girls, and how, and then I started understanding that when he looked out his window and be like, damn Japs, like, that's not something that you laugh at, right? That's somebody who's traumatized from World War II. And I mean, I didn't know. So I was like, oh, he's laughing at, what are Japs, Grandpa? Oh, those are just stupid people over there. It's like, oh, Japs are stupid people. So you can imagine how I could have gotten myself in a lot of trouble. But, he did tarot, he did astrology, he did, psychic. And he taught me from a young age of these like demonic stories, like demons in caves in Brazil when they're looking for like gold. And so like, I was like scared for my life.
Well, yeah, I
I was
would.
terrified. Yeah. And no, it's funny to laugh. It's okay to laugh at that. And so, but then I had this falling out of like, oh, well, since he was a bad person, that must mean that everything was bullshit. Yeah. Kind of like the same way if somebody falls away from the church, then God's an asshole.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And whereas both things can be right.
He had a gift and he used it in a bad way, but he could have been a saint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a choice.
It's how you use things.
Yep.
It's the same analogy with guns. Like guns don't. It's not the guns that are bad. It's whatever is the person using the tool. Money's the same thing. Money's just a tool.
Money's an interesting energy.
You can use it for good or you can use it for bad. So that's a lot of programming with that too.
Yep, 100%. And being cognizant of the time, I'm wondering if people are listening to this, like, wow, I'm really loving their energy. I love what they do. I see a lot of my own, story in them. If they wanted to reach out to you and work with you, find out a little bit more about whether it be online business or just anything that you do, what would be the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Hit it, Mike.
Well, you can go to either Expanded Awareness on our YouTube channel, DLC. I have my contact information. You can also email us at support@expandedawarenessllc.org. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We don't have a, if you see it on Facebook, you can just hit it on Messenger, but yeah, basically just, message us either through Facebook or Messenger and let us know what you need help with, and we'll be more than glad to help you out or assist you.
Joshua, I got one more thing to say. I always do, but I got one more thing to say. I just want people to know that a guru or a mentor isn't somebody that you worship or go to for powers. Anybody can be an example of putting you on the path. It's being open. And that's how we say that we live in a meditative state. We're always in the moment and we're open to opportunities and people.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people think, well, I'm going to go to this seminar, I'm going to go to that seminar. But everyday life is such a teacher, and every person you meet is such a teacher.
It could be that one janitor or that one homeless person that might say something and it's like, whoa, wasn't expecting that. Like, well, that's why we're all connected and we're always being guided toward different, like how we attracted you or Ed or Raymond.
And the universe uses life to teach us.
Yeah.
Seminars are very good for people when you kind of have a direction or you kind of need it, you'll know, but life is just, it's exciting within itself. And it's such an opportunity to grow and learn.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And for anyone who, maybe understands the principles around psychic awareness or just intuitive awareness, but they're struggling with how to allow themselves to really go down that path and allow themselves to really embrace that energy. Do either of you have any, either or both of you have any maybe final words of wisdom for how people can start to really tap into that?
Okay.
Hit it.
If you know the most important thing about psychic energy is if you understand yourself, you understand other energies. And if you align to whatever higher being or higher energy that you believe in, and always intend to do the highest and best, the universe is going to use you.
It's intent. Yeah.
It's your intent.
Yeah.
It's not a power. Everybody has it.
We're instruments. So what are you aligned to? So, I feel like that's the wisdom. It's just getting to know yourself more, like work, go within yourself and see what's in there. Like get to know yourself.
Not what people tell you you are.
Yes.
But who you truly feel you are.
Yeah. And you can do that through meditation, meeting great people like as yourself too. And, because some of us, we need that GPS. So we're like, we can be used as GPS too. Like you're not, you feel lost. Okay, well, this is we're guiding people. We're not interfering too much in your free will, but we're giving you like a blueprint that you can choose either to use it or not use it. But we can only open the doors, but it's up to you to go through them.
And then recognizing all the wins. Every time you hit something on the head, just go score in your mind and it's going to expand.
Yeah, I tell people, celebrate your small wins. Like in an online business, for example. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I kind of see your marketing too, so you're a good marketer. But we know that we need to be like driving traffic and generating leads and things like that. So some people that I talk to about starting an online business, like even if you get that first like one person interested in your program, that one lead, celebrate that. Wow, I got my first lead, because that tells the universe that, oh, we need to send more people that are interested in their business. Then you make that first sale, even if it's like 50 cents on that initial, front end sale. Celebrate that. Like go and say, wow, I make my first sale online. Like that means I can, earn more. And at first it starts out like that. And then you like start seeing the purpose in it. Like you get into the mode of like, okay, I'm making sales and stuff. Then you start getting into your purpose. Is like, wow, how many other people can I help now? Because, we always start out as like some kind of like money is a motivator. When I started my hairstyling or personal care business with her, my only intention was to help her out and get some, cut some hair and make some money. And then after a while is when I figured out, okay, I see why I was guided to this. You just have to stay long enough to see that there's a real purpose on there. But if you stay in that mode, like just like I just want to make money, then all those shiny object syndrome, which I call them SOS, start getting to you.
Yeah.
So.
And I've noticed that the biggest thing is I've had a lot of people ask me, what's my life purpose? Well, I can't tell you what your life purpose is, but I can help you find it. If it's something you enjoy and you intend to be of use to the highest and best, that's your life purpose. It's not one specific thing. You might have a day job. It might be boring, but after work, you go out and you love dancing and you light up a room. That's your life purpose. It's not necessarily what you're making money at.
Yeah. I always tell people to become aware of their thank yous. Yeah. If whatever people are thanking you for constantly, thank you for this, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That right there is telling you, the universe is telling you like, there's something here. Yeah. You might not like it at the moment, but if people are thanking you for something, whether it's like, oh, thank you for mowing my lawn, or thank you for this, oh, thank you for that stuff you told me, and you don't even remember. It's like, what did I said a lot, I was drunk or whatever. What did I say? Or, an example, then that right there was just the awareness of that is, oh, people thank me a lot for this. Maybe, once you reach the purpose in that level, then you know where to go towards.
And what you're good at isn't necessarily what you enjoy, because I don't necessarily enjoy doing hair, but I enjoy the people so much that it makes the hair worth doing.
Yeah.
I like that.
And like Michael's got a technical background, hair, what does hair have to do with technical? He wants to just be of service in the highest and best way.
Yeah.
And that's his heart. And so the universe and the world's answering his heart.
It doesn't matter what it is. It could be somebody needs help with, sometimes I get calls, hey man, my Netflix not working. And it's just like a little button of like, just hit the HDMI twice or something, change the source of the TV. But what's simple to you doesn't mean that it's simple to that person. So there you're being of service on that area too. So
Andy gets called all the time to help people with their computers. He's doing hair and they're like, hey, Mike, I need help with this. And he's okay. He's just of service, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And I love the idea of telling the universe, hey, I appreciate what I got, so that way I can get more. And it's like responsibility, right? With a kid, right? You're not going to, give them a ton of responsibility that they can't handle, that crushes their back.
Yes.
Right. You're going to give them a little bit. And if they appreciate it and they can handle it, okay, then you give them a little bit more. They appreciate it and handle it, then they get a little bit more.
And if I need to improve on something, then I learn new skills to better serve the person. So everything that I do is intentional, has a purpose behind it. So, man, I really want to help people, accomplish this because it makes me feel good. I might not be good like at doing hair. Like I want to give people that, like, man, I look good. And if I suck at doing hair, I'm going to spend hours, watching videos or meeting other, professional hairstylists and just learning from them just until I get it, and then use my clippers and just in the name of helping that person feel good about themselves. And yeah, I mean, what we do is that we bring the inner shine outward with the service that we do.
I love it. I love it. Well, and if you're watching this and you want to bring that inner shine that is there, you're having a hard time finding it, you want to bring that out, reach out, right? You can email support@expandedawarenessllc.org. I'll also have that on the YouTube video. And then I can, you said they can reach out to you over Facebook, so I can go ahead and have your Facebook profile on there as well.
Yeah, you can, send it to our page or any of our profiles. We're pretty open. We're not, as long as they're, they kind of text the purpose, because I don't know about you, but I get a lot of people spamming.
Yeah.
Like, how you doing? Don't say anything. And then if you respond to that, you know how it goes.
Yep, I know exactly how it goes.
Hey, I saw your video at Joshua's, channel or wherever you're posting this. I would like to learn more about this. Then we know it's okay. This, this person is worth our time of, to help them out. And
we're not there to tell people things. We're there to just have conversations, and through our everyday conversations, things come up. It's cool.
I love it. Awesome. Well, hey guys, this has been amazing. I really appreciate you taking the time and coming on.
I love your energy. Thank you.
Yeah, hey, you're welcome.
Joshua.
Well, and it it's fun to see this as almost like an epic MMO, right? An epic RPG, right? Where we're going around and we find these people just out of like, hey, how did this person come in? That's at the right time to help me take on this big obstacle in my life, or to help advance me in the idea where I need to go to be able to, maybe, work on my psychic awareness, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever
it is.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So basically, she does all the intuitive stuff. I do more like the mechanical stuff and the how-tos. My intention is to help you be self-empowered. Like if you want to start an online business because, you want to fire your boss, or you want to like get your time back because, you can choose, whatever you can choose your own schedule. A lot of people want to do that. Then, they can reach out to us for that. If it's something, just have a conversation like how we do, then we can, do time for that too. So a lot of stuff comes up with conversations like right here, like we just came in clean and we don't know what was going to come out. And look, it turned out to be an amazing experience for me. I don't know about Chris, but for my
every experience is amazing.
My first interview ever. This has been This made my day, so I appreciate it. I don't want to take a lot of your time.
Well, I appreciate again that the value that you brought. I love the frame from where you guys come. Right, there's an air of authenticity, right, that you guys stand in your own authentic selves, and you're really not trying to push anything that you aren't. Right, you're not trying to say anything that and come from a place of where you aren't. Right, you're only coming from a place of where you are, and which is right our great I am, and that's fantastic.
Thank you for recognizing that.
Thank you.
That's very nice.
Well,
Thank
Joshua,
you.
if you ever have any type of like, I know you're gonna get pretty big at this, so I know
I feel it.
You're probably gonna hold events at some point. Just keep us in mind.
Yeah.
We'll show up in any seminars
If
or
you need cheerleaders.
Well, if I'm ever in Alaska and
Heck
like,
yeah,
hey,
give us a call.
I know a couple of people in the biggest state in the nation, right?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be a lot of fun. Well, again, guys, I just want to say thank you. This has been incredible. I made reference in the green room before we started recording of the Morpheus glasses, and I feel I need to draw attention to them again. And to
That's
one guy who wears an awesome hat to another guy who wears an awesome hat.
Yes.
And a girl
You-
not wearing a hat.
You
Right.
inspire me.
Again,
So I'm
thank
like,
you
I'm
so
gonna wear the
much.
hat today.
Yeah. And you two, hey, may love and truth always guide your path.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.